and welcome to episode 447 of the God is a Geek podcast. Think last week I got it wrong. My name's Adam Cook. I'm your host as ever, and I am joined by one Mr. Christopher White. Hey, Chris, right?
I am, yeah, you?
Been better, mate, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, there's no water in here today. There's nothing in here. We're gonna see if we make it. You know what I mean by that?
I do, mate.
Okay.
Stay strong.
Yeah, stay strong. Does Adam Carroll know what I mean by that?
100% been there before.
Yeah, it's a live show. Every vibration on the watch is a risk. Let's just leave it. Let's leave it at that. We are doing the podcast slightly differently today, only slightly, because we're not going to talk about too much in terms of what we played. Just a couple of things. One that's coming in the future and one that's out, kind of out now. I just wanted to talk about it quickly, but then we're going to do our kind of E3. Because E3, our pre-E3, our pre-3 special. Nice. Because it's all, I mean, it's a weird one, right, this year for a start?
Yeah.
It's kind of all over the shop.
Well, yeah.
Like, EA are doing theirs in July, but, they'll be part of E3, I'm sure, and they always are on Xbox or PlayStation stages. It's a very
It definitely already feels
time.
better than last year.
I can't remember last year. I genuinely can't.
Everyone was not really into it. Everyone was just not in the right.
Was it Keanu last year? Was that the year
I
before?
thought E3 was cancelled last year. It was the year before you're thinking of. Where
Right.
I thought E3 was.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
God knows.
Last
no, it was cancelled.
Gamescom was cancelled.
I think a few people did a few things.
Bits.
But not. It wasn't.
It's all digital. It's all digital this year. What we've got coming up then is we're going to look at the predictions. We're going to go for some sort of surprise kind of dream announcements, and then we've got what have we got? 6 or 7? I think 6 of our regular Patreons who have sent us in their predictions and dreams. And if anyone's in the live chat, you can send yours as well. But before we get there, we're going to talk about some games we have been playing. And Chris White has been playing Formula 1 2021. And I always have to think before I say the name of this game, because the F1 games that are Codemasters are now owned by EA are I think the only sports title where they actually call it the name of the year it's released. So this year's FIFA, presuming there definitely is one, will be FIFA 22, NHL 22, NBA 22, but F1 will be F1 2021. So I just always have to. How is it, mate? What how do you get on with it?
You can do some racing.
What?
It feels weird. It feels weird me talking about racing games because I don't drive a car. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I really have to pay attention to it. To the games to be able to understand them fully. But
you'll never make a games journalist at this rate, paying attention to what you're playing.
No, because I in the review I talk about knowing what ERS means and DRS and all this complex stuff that I'm sure Gary would know what he was talking about when he used to review them. But anyway, the game itself, I really enjoyed the preview. It was a mini season. It was I think it was 10 races. And in that, you went through the rigmarole of the weekends and the kind of the weeks running up to it. And before I played it, we had a little presentation from the developers at EA/Codemasters, and they talked us through some of the new features. So at least I knew what to look out for and what had been changed. But the main, for me, there's a big difference between milestone games that throw you in at the deep end and you're just expected to know what you're doing with this simulation heavy racer, and you find it's very punishing for if you go off the tracks for a few seconds, then you're automatically your lap will be cancelled, and it's a nightmare for new players. So F1 is it's so user friendly for new players with the casual mode, but then it's also got a new expert mode for the ones that know exactly what they're doing and follow F1 regularly. But in terms of that, the actual racing, it's fantastic. I found a nice rhythm to it. It like many other races, it's got the dynamic line in the middle, which tells you kind of when to brake and accelerate, and that's obviously very important for F1 because they're a lot faster than your regular cars. But just everything about like the presentation's gorgeous. Like
it looks amazing.
The races, the actual like the weekends. Like it's not just do a practice run, do a practice run, do a practice run, do you qualify and race over next week. Like there's the start of the season. There's like a proper introduction by like you get on. Is it Channel 4 who do F1 now? Where they've got like full-on presenters from the pit stops and stuff. That they've got that all in there, and it throws you over to your pit, and you've got all your kind of team working in the back on the computers, and you've got all your information in front of you. And the practice runs now kind of give you more of a reason to pay attention to them, because each practice session you can do three particular things, like three particular kind of challenges that provide you with more kind of points to spend on R&D for your car and team. And one of them kind of follows how you manage your speed and the fuel consumption. Another one has a focus on like your management of the track and whether you're going to get to the pits appropriately by how you're racing, the tires, that kind of thing. So you kind of have to focus on different things when you're racing in these practice sessions, and that exponentially broadens your knowledge of the Formula One race when you actually do it, because you're not just holding down the accelerator and trying to speed up. You're playing it by ear, because it's obviously it's not a sprint in F1, it's a race. You know, actual F1 competitions goes on for like 10s, 30s, 40s, whatever how many laps. So it's all about managing your fuel and your kind of how you take corners not to damage your tires and that kind of thing. But so there's all that, and that's quite a detailed way to race. But handling's excellent. Like it feels amazing. And then like the stuff you're doing when you're not racing, it ranges from kind of spending points on your car and like the various sections of like your aerodynamics and your powertrain, and so you can buy new like crankshafts and decals and whatever you want, so they can either make your car look nice or you can actually physically improve your car. But the career side of it, obviously there's an actual story mode in it this year, but we didn't get to see that, which is called Breaking Point. And I'm kind of hoping it's like a long shot from Madden, because that was phenomenal, like a genuinely interesting, well-written career mode. So I'll be like, I'm hoping it's kind of similar to that. But yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it.
It looks great. It's they're one of these games that every time like a new one comes out, I kind of, because it's not like, so like with someone like a FIFA, I could still, even the new gen version, which looks, lovely, but I could still look at that and go, the crowds still look crap. Like, I'm not saying I could do any better, but F1 isn't that kind of sport where you do have crowds, but they're not.
No,
every turn.
The detail at the different stadiums are fantastic. Like, there are crowds, but they're not the main focus, are they? It's not like
no, that's what I mean.
Where the crowds kind of the footballers play off the crowds.
Yeah, there's not crowds at every part of the stadium, in this case, track. No,
you're right. So the detail kind of is in the track itself, the car, which look amazing.
Yeah.
And the kind of the visuals now. I'm sure, like I played it on PC, the preview, but like to play it, to see it on a PS5 will be interesting, because
I think
it's not a PS4 game for PS5, is it? It's a it's PS4 or PS5.
I think the footage we were sent is sort of a mix of everything, and I can't really see any one that stands out as like, oh, that looks better or worse. Like there's like on the screen right now, I think is Xbox footage. I can't remember, but we've definitely got PS5 footage as well, or PS5. I'm not sure actually. Just it was PlayStation footage, so I don't know. But yeah, like, I mean, it's one of those where we'll always cover those games. I don't think it's really the kind of game that the three of us are gonna collectively lose our underpants over. But
I'm not like no, you don't want to be doing that at the minute.
Not at the moment.
I'm not like once I've reviewed a racer, I very rarely go back to it. But I could see myself sticking with this. I genuinely enjoyed it. Like I felt the reward was excellent, and like the amount of times I've tried to get into F1 because I feel like I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
But with my lack of knowledge of cars and driving in general, but like I could see myself playing this. Like if the career mode, when it's like when, because you've got like a live mode as well. So when the season is underway, you can join at that point. So say they're in Britain at Silverstone or whatever, you can join at that moment with the same stats as like positions of where the drivers are and what teams are involved and stuff like that. So like it's perfect for like fans as well. But I think they've got a real knack of bringing in anyone, like giving them the option to play. Like you can change the settings as much as you want. You can make it as tough or as easy as you want, but it'll still be a challenge regardless of your level, really. So yeah. How did I do?
Yeah, no, you did brilliantly, mate. That's really well. I'm genuinely impressed that impressed at that. We'll move on to Operation Tango though, because like I was quite excited about this game, and I was a bit surprised that no one seems to have played it. I played this with Mr. Hyde, who we didn't mention he's poorly today, so get well soon, Chris, if you're watching, and if not, that's not really very nice of you. So fuck you. She's got Jeeves looking after him. No, but Operation Tango is a 2-player co-op game, and it's like it's along with Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate.
Showdown?
Yes. It was like this month's PlayStation 5 game, or PlayStation 4 game. Not sure now, but it's this month's PS Plus game.
Showdown is PS4.
Yeah, I think Operation Tango is the PS5 one. It's on PS4.
It is
as well.
PS5. That is definitely the PS5 one.
Yeah.
It stinks. I have a download ready to go.
It's the first thing I thought when I played it was, I would expect a PlayStation 5 game to run a bit more smoothly than this. Which is not to say it's like dog shit, because it's not. But I really was like, at first I was like, wow, I have been playing a lot of smooth games recently because this is this.
So do you think, are you like, nobody wants to play a game that runs poorly, but like, are you at a stage now that with the new consoles that you just are like, what's going on? Like the slightest second, are you just a bit like, what the hell is this?
I would expect a PlayStation 5 native game to run better than this.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. I won't. If this was on PS4, I'd maybe. I mean, not being funny, it's not. It doesn't look like it's particularly taxing the hardware. You know, when you've played a Returnal or whatever, you've seen. So it's a 2-player co-op game. It requires the microphones to be on, so it kind of. I feel like what they should have done. Well, I suppose they have done this. Is what they should have done is done the kind of It Takes Two thing of where if one person buys it, your mate can play it. But I guess by being in PlayStation Plus, they kind of have.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of there. I think it is coming to other formats later. It might be PC now, and the Xbox is definitely coming, I think, as well. It's a really neat idea. Like, I wonder, I don't know if this is going to be a very good analogy because I don't know how many people have played this, but there's a game that started out, I think, out of VR, and then it went into VR called Keep Talking and Nobody what is it? Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Nobody Explodes, yeah.
Yeah, where the idea is, for example, I'm in VR and I'm looking at a bomb. You two have got like the instruction manual of the bomb printed out, and I'm looking at it going, right, the bomb's got 2 batteries there, one of them's blue, and you're like, okay, battery's blue. Right, okay, remove the blue battery. And, you've got instructions, right? And I've got, but you can't, you see what I mean? And a lot of the sort of games within this are that kind of thing. So, for example, I'm playing, I think in the footage you're seeing as the operator, I think it was called. No, the agent, where you're in first person and you're in the environment you're doing stuff in. And there's footage, Chris Hyde is playing as the agent, who is basically, it's kind of got a computer screen almost. He can do stuff remotely that I can't because he's the hacker, and I have to find stuff in the environment that he otherwise couldn't. Like, so in this footage, I've just discovered something or other, I forget which he needed to see to be able to unlock this elevator, which I can go in to progress towards the mainframe server. So he's unlocked that, and see it's denying me access to the 3rd floor, which he will unlock and lets me go up. And that's the kind of concept for it. And sometimes it's kind of cool, but like we had like major bugs. Like there was one where the end of a heist, I'm trying to escape, and there's a turret in the ceiling, and Chris has to take over that turret so it doesn't shoot me. it just didn't work. Like it's to press square to take it over, and we were spent 20+ minutes just trying to like, are we doing something wrong? And then I said, look, before we give up this for good, let's just switch roles and I'll be the agent. And so, it's like you almost reloaded properly from the main menu into it with the new characters. And then it just worked. It just worked first time. Like it just worked. And it's like, oh, okay. And there's so much trial and error. And it's a neat idea. I just don't think it's particularly well executed. Like, again, for the audio, this isn't great, but for those watching, like, the idea is I have to run through this room because Chris is looking on the cameras and he knows where the security bots are. There's one. It's killed me. He has to guide me. So it really does require that cooperation. But it's also never fully... It's either too hand-holdy or it's not clear enough about what it wants me to do. And I kind of find it sad. Like, we played another mission that you're not seeing here, where you like, I was the spy and he was on a train, and there's some cool stuff going on. Like, you're having to sort of decode people's phones and unlock train doors so he can go in, and then there's an agent trying to get through, so I have to lock the door, but he can unlock it. So Chris has to hide, and then and I'm hacking phones while he's doing it to get logs and passwords, and like I can look up the train databases and go, oh, the person you're looking for is in carriage 3, and it's kind of all this is cool. And there's all this kind of spy music going on in the background. But, like, unfortunately, the kind of music that's going on belies what's actually happening because it's kind of dull. And, like, it's just kind of... I don't know. It just... For every moment where you're like, oh, there was some more that were like, God's sake, really? And also, it's got a big problem where they're like... So when you fail, it's just like, you failed. And then you instantly, when you, like, restart or resume... you're right back exactly where you were. So it's kind of like, oh, you didn't get the password, just try again. You know what I mean? And so it kind of, the fail state stuff, like there's this, like, again on screen now, like there's, you have to, so this is a lock-picking game, and like you have to, one of you controls it's like, imagine if your left analog stick was controlled by two people, and so player A controls the left and right of it, and player B controls the up and down of it, and that's kind of what some of the mini games do. So you have to kind of coordinate that way. Again, kind of a neat idea. But some of them, like, are so unintuitive that unless, like, if you could see your mate's screen, you'd be like, oh yeah, no, I get it right away. But of course, that's the whole point of it, is that you don't see your mate's screen.
I'll be honest, I didn't know this was a co-op game, and you haven't really sold me on it.
No, it's like, I feel bad because, like, I think it's a neat idea.
Kind of looks like something.
Yeah, I got that too, I can't place it. It's almost Bioshocky, but not.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, download it and play it with a mate if you want. It's on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you. I don't want to be too harsh because it's hard work making video games. But like we spent like an evening playing that. Kind of because we wanted to talk about one of the new games that were coming out for the pod, sort of thing. And like, I don't know, I can't speak for Chris, and I enjoyed spending time, chatting to him while we were playing it. But I did go away thinking, I could have played kind of anything else. Could have played some Satisfactory. We could have played some Knockout City. And I deleted it. Oh no, I didn't, but I was going to basically delete it straight away. Like, it's not awful. Like, some neat ideas. Like I'm in the server room and I'm trying to find certain codes that Chris can put in his end, and but it's not clever. Like, he needs. I think on this scene he needed an IP address, which I can get, so I give it to him, and once he's put that in, he can open the back door. Ooh, misses. That sort of stuff. It sounds. Well, I've not made it sound cool, but like the concept sounds cool. The execution is just not there for me. It's just not. And so, not to end on a bummer, really, which is what I've done. But we are. Let's there are games coming, but we do need to talk about E3. We do need to talk about E3, chaps. We need to talk about how we feel about E3.
Indeed.
What we think is going to happen. Before we kick into it, I guess. The people behind E3 have sent us the schedule overview, which seems to start on Saturday, June 12th. and apologies for looking off camera. I'm literally it's a lot of information. I need to make sure I get it right. So these are in American time, so 10 a.m. Pacific time, so that's about 6 o'clock UK. Kicks off with a press conference from Ubisoft and Gearbox Entertainment, as well as a session with GamesBeat. Sunday is Microsoft, which is literally called the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase. So we're not getting a Bethesda press conference or an Xbox one. It's both of them, which we'll definitely get to that. That's 10 a.m. again, so that's 6 p.m. UK. Square Enix, the PC Gaming Show, the Future Game Show, Warner Bros. Warner Brothers Games and Back 4 Blood and 24 Entertainment will also be featured. Monday the 14th, we've got Take-Two, it says indie developers, as presentations from Take-Two, Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer and Capcom, Verizon and Television will be featured, along with a session with Ven. It's more phone stuff, isn't it? Tuesday is the last day of E3, and that's going to be Nintendo Direct and a Nintendo Treehouse Live, which we have some information on, and also that's 5 p.m. UK, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and Bandai Namco are going to have a focused event on there, and then there's the official E3 awards. So where do we want to start? Do we want to talk about what we expect, or what we... I mean, do we want to start with Ubisoft? Because if I can I've just bloody deleted it, but I had a press release that I must have missed. Yeah, here we go. So the way I read this, it's going to be Ubisoft Forward. That's their Nintendo Direct, isn't it? And that's going to be the 12th of June. But I'm just sorry, apologies. I'm just scanning the email. But the way I read it, it says the main show starts at 8 p.m. English time. Okay, but the pre-show is 7 p.m. with news and updates from games such as For Honor, Trackmania, The Crew 2, Brawlhalla, Watch Dogs Legions, and more. So the suggestion that I get from that is that they've listened to people saying, like, you do these Ubisoft Forwards that we're expecting, like, massive games, and then you're like, oh, and For Honor's going to have Season 27. And it sounds like they're getting all that out of the way in the first hour, which is the pre-show, because it says the main show will feature the next mainline entry in the Rainbow Six franchise, formerly known as Quarantine, which they have been leaked that it's been renamed for obvious reasons. Although ironically, I feel like now they probably could just call it Quarantine. Not that we're out of the woods or out the other side, and the third wave discussions are abound. But I feel like, I don't know. But it will include more details on Far Cry 6, which had a reveal recently. Riders Republic. We've got updates for Valhalla and Siege, and content from the Apple TV Plus series Mythic Quest, and soon-to-release movie Werewolves Within, which I had never heard of. Wow. And then following the main show at 9 p.m, blah, blah, blah. So it's an hour long, Ubisoft's. What do we expect from them?
I think that's exactly it, really, what you
said.
Really?
You really think so?
I don't think there are any surprises.
Like, I was just trying to think in my head, going, like, okay, what would they put? And, like, really, right now, if I was to say something, I think, like, I'm off for Far Cry, but we've just seen some stuff about that.
So you're into that? Well, no, they've said they're going to show that. They will.
But that's what I mean. Rainbow Six is probably the one that, like,
what about Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, surely that can't be not 2 years on the trot.
There's been a pandemic which has stopped a lot of work going forward. So there's going to be maybe a couple of surprises there and there, or more info on games that have been announced a couple of years ago, or like Beyond Good and Evil 2. But I think it'll be more on upcoming stuff that is known. Like loads of gameplay for Far Cry 6 would be great.
What about?
I think. Go on.
Ubisoft have did they confirm this? They're doing a Star Wars game. They confirmed it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
By the people who made the Division 2.
Maybe some info. You won't see anything.
No.
Maybe a logo will come on screen.
Yeah, it's possible. So are you saying you don't think Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be there, or it will?
I don't think it will.
Wow. What about you, Ads?
Like in terms of holy smoke surprise, I think like that would be the one to kind of maybe go for. But I think I have to agree with Chris that I don't know if it's gonna.
Really?
Oh, I'm not that bothered. Like I'll just be grateful to see some game release dates and some footage from them. Like I'm not bothered about surprises at the minute. I'm like, it's been a tough time. We could do with some solid release dates to be excited for, rather than here's what's coming in 3 years, here's what's coming in 4 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, there'll be Siege of Paris content, I think, for Valhalla, because that's coming in November. We'll see some gameplay for that, I would say. And like all this pre-show stuff with the updates for like Trackmania and For Honor, like there are people out there that play them.
I don't think I'll tune in for them.
Well, no.
I normally would be up for them, but I feel like I feel so entitled, but we've had it's not been barren, but it's been more barren than usual, perhaps. And I kind of
Philip has come in the chat there with an absolute whopper.
A new Rayman. Do you know what?
A new Rayman.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that, right? Because do you know? I don't know. I know, Chris, you're on you use Android phones, don't you?
Yeah.
Adam, are you an iPhone guy or are you
Android?
Okay, so you both know what Apple Arcade is, though, right? You know.
Yeah.
So my boys both have iPhones, and I was talking to my son because he's sort of got a bit bored of playing the same games over and over, and he's been playing stuff on his phone again, and he didn't realise that because we do family sharing, he has like my Apple Arcade subscription, and he saw that Rayman Mini, I think it's called, and he was like, "Oh my god, a new Rayman!" I went to Runner, and he goes, "Oh, that's a shame. You know, they really should." And this is a 14-year-old kid goes, "They really should do more with them games because those last two ones were amazing." It's like, good lad.
Yep.
You know, so it would be remarkable to, like,
they were so good.
I really do think. I think there's no way they can not show Beyond Good and Evil for 2 years. I just don't think they can. I think the only game they get away with not showing is Skull and Bones because they've been quite upfront about the front. That's basically almost restarted development. No, apparently they've restarted it, re-envisioned it, and it's next year. But I mean, Just Dance.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them say something. I don't know what. I'm not expecting a sequel or of any sort, but something to do with Immortals.
Well, I'm trying to think what franchises they've got right now that are dormant, and there's only one. And it is the one. Because we've just had Valhalla. They're clearly doing more with that. We've just had Watch Dogs. That was late last year. These are late last year games. We've just had Immortals. Nice. It would be nice to hear that they're making more of that. We've got Riders Republic, which is a new IP. We've got... we know about Siege. We know about Beyond Good and Evil. What was that other game? One word name. Wild. Was that them? Or was that independent? It's the one I'm never sure if they're involved with or it's an independent game. But the only game, unless it's a new one, is Splinter Cell, isn't it?
I was just about to say that.
Well, Prince of Persia, they pushed back, saying it needed a bit more polish. But I don't think they're going to announce a new Prince of Persia before the remake's out. I mean, they might, but
a new Splinter Cell will be their business.
I mean, that's been years as well, right? Years since we've had anything.
When was the last Splinter Cell?
Was it Blacklist? Or was there one after that?
Blacklist, and
that was 2 gens ago now. That was the Xbox 360 gen.
It was, yeah.
Did we get a Splinter Cell game last gen? I'm not sure we did. I'm not sure we did. I think it might have skipped the whole generation of consoles. I feel like I'd remember playing a new Splinter Cell game on PS4 or Xbox One. And I can't remember.
No, I didn't. It didn't. You're right.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's mad.
I mean, that's Ubisoft. Gearbox, there's rumours of something Borderlands related that's not what you expect. There's not much we can talk about there.
I wonder if we'll see something to do with the film.
The Borderlands film?
Yeah.
There's a bit about that going around at the moment, isn't there?
Because they're only just making it, aren't they? But I just maybe some visuals or images from the set or some cast in costume. I'd be up for that.
It's weird how many suddenly films and TV shows of games are happening.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot suddenly. Like, you'd get the odd one or two. And also, they seem to be coming out with literally no fanfare. Now, that may be a product of the fact that, I was going to say, like Mortal Kombat, like Monster Hunter. I mean, Chris, you might be able to help here. I'm a bit confused by that.
End of June or start of July.
Elsewhere, right? Like
America came out in December.
But it's out here still to come in cinemas, isn't it? And, and I guess like the whole Marvel thing. Once Marvel are now ramping up, you kind of know cinemas are back. Again, pending people being sensible. Microsoft. Well.
Forza 5.
Horizon 5. Forza Horizon.
Forza 5, yeah, in Mexico.
100% agree. You reckon Mexico?
That's the rumor.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, Mexico would be amazing.
Yeah, but other people, the other part is people want Japan, but
Japan would be cool.
So what I've heard is that there were apparently specifics around representation of certain regions of Japan in games where you're not allowed to do that kind of street racing stuff. I think I'm not 100% sure.
So I've seen Tokyo Drift. I know the score.
Yeah, which was probably filmed in America, wasn't it? I haven't seen that. So.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but I mean,
I haven't actually seen it. It's shit.
Okay,
but no, they've got there's so many places they could take it.
Out this year, by the way, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think so. November time.
Although I've said that now, and I'm sort of as soon as I've said it, I'm like, would it? Could it?
We'll be seeing.
Sorry, go on. No, go on. I was literally about to ask you what you think we see at Xbox.
I'm going to say Halo.
Let's hold Bethesda, I should say, just for now.
Okay. Hellblade. Okay. Release date.
Yeah, that's true.
You think?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'd say Hellblade would have to be.
You remember when we first saw that? It was looking pretty...
Well, right, so here's the thing, right? Now, this can either be a period where you two can form some form of intervention about the state of my mind, or you can back me up here. Because of the way the world's been, which I'm not saying the word for a reason, but I just don't. I've had enough of saying it, and I've had enough of talking about it. Truth be told, but because of the way the world's been for the last 12+ months, my my sense of time has become. I'm the guy that's never late, like never late. Like if I'm late, you would be ringing 999 because it's like, well, he must be dead then because he's not late. My sense of time has become very poor, very suddenly. And I wonder if that's kind of a global thing because I find I'm having conversations a lot where people are like, was that last year? No, was it? Wait, huh? Because of not being able to leave your house. And I wonder if that will play into some of these conferences where they can show Hellblade but don't have to give a release date because people will be like, wait, wasn't that announced 2 years ago? Because I'm genuinely here going, was it? Because there was no E3, and I'm sure it was at an E3, so it must be 2 years ago, right? So is it me?
I thought there was like an Xbox showcase that.
See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean.
But I don't know. But I just think there'll be release dates. There have to be because there's nothing coming out. There's nothing coming out.
But for Microsoft, and this is going to get people probably angry, I guess, but I can only be honest, with Microsoft, when it comes to that Xbox, they've basically had no exclusive since it launched.
No.
And we are in June. And it came out in... see, here we go again. Late last year. October?
November.
Yeah. So we've had a console out for 7+ months that has not had a single exclusive on it. That hasn't someone come to another platform. And we'll talk about Sony and we will mention the recent news, I'm sure. So we're saying Forza Horizon this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hellblade this year.
I agree. I disagree Hellblade this year,
December.
but I think we'll see it December. Okay. Cool. That's a game
December
I wouldn't want to play at Christmas. Halo we know Halo is out this year. I don't know that they can
exactly, Chris.
Will it?
I don't know that they can show
I think they're really
Halo.
worried about it. I think they're really worried about Halo,
but I don't think they can show Halo now that is going to blow people like us away. It's almost like they have to double down and go, no, this is for the Halo nuts. Because what can they show? What could they feasibly show?
Better gameplay.
Right, but like what though, ads? Because that's what I mean. What could they show you as someone who's like, you probably don't mind Halo, but what could they show in a I don't know, a slice of gameplay or a trailer that would make you go, oh, yep, I'm going to buy a Series X tomorrow.
Genuinely, like the power of the console, because I just didn't see that within this.
But that would be enough for you to go.
It wouldn't be enough for me because I've said it many times. I'm not a Halo fan. But like, do you know, not to go on about that gameplay again, but like watching that gameplay at the time it came out, a lot of us were saying like, yeah, okay, and I think
Halo.
That's not good enough. Like, I think Halo needs a big step up, and I think that's what's caused this whole delay. It just needs a big step up.
Yeah, I think it failed when it showed the footage for the first time because, like, think of so Ratchet and Clank
could have been any Halo game for me there.
Was amazing. Visually, it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you saw the trailer for Ratchet and Clank on the PS5, it like had a real impact because it looked even better and the gameplay looked even better. Resident Evil Village, these games that have got sequels that aren't that quite recent have still come out and like nailed it with the trailers. When Halo Infinite, like even though like as a fan of Halo, I thought, oh, this looks good.
I liked what I saw of that game. Sorry,
it didn't get me really excited, and that was the initial problem, I think. And I think they're really trying to find a way to. They can't just release it and go, here you go. Well, here it is. It's Halo. It's like their flagship series. It's so important. So
I
Xbox
just wonder
and Microsoft, they have to do something that will. Yeah. They've got to at E3, or else it will.
I don't
fail.
know what they can do. I mean, they've bought all these studios. You know, like I think the Fable thing. What? No, this what it was. It was presentations last. Like State of Decay 3, they've showed a CGI reveal of that. Fable, it's a CGI reveal of that. They could come out and show these games gameplay wise. They could, and they could look amazing. They're not out this year. Like, there's no way Fable's out this year. There's no.
Well, I think that wouldn't be a bad.
Decay was.
That wouldn't be a bad thing for them to do, though. It's to come out with the game that they have already mentioned that they're doing and showing people.
But is that what E3's always been about?
It's not, but things have gone to the absolute slurry pits because of the last year and a bit. Like, so I just think right now I'm kind of sitting back, going into this E3, going, okay, we're getting some stuff now here. I'm not expecting a whole pile of like, holy shit, this has just been announced.
No, they're
more so like, now we're going to catch up again with what we mentioned before.
Maybe, but I think they are going to heavily rely on their newly bought studios like Bethesda.
Yeah.
I think it's very clear. The fact this is called the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase speaks volumes, and kind of worries me because like I'm nothing against Bethesda. I like their games, but like I could probably just go right. Wolfenstein, that'll be a new one of them. Okay, Starfield. Or Bound? Starfield. Okay. They're making an Indiana Jones game, aren't they, Bethesda? I keep forgetting. Maybe that pops up.
I would personally, it's on my like wish list, but coming around, especially with Bethesda, I am like, it's not going to happen. But you gotta wish. But I hope Evil Within 3 would get a bit of something.
But like that studio's busy with Ghostwire Tokyo, which by the way they're not going to show at Microsoft because it's a PS5 exclusive. How mental is that? And it's the same. I mean, not that we need to see any more Deathloop. That game looks great. Let's play it. Let's get it out the door. But like Ghostwire Tokyo is one that I genuinely look at and go, kind of. I mean, it is. It's the Evil Within studio, but a first-person game. And I suppose they could show it. I mean, could they in theory announce, look, yes, we are committed to our deals. It is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but we've got some exclusive gameplay of an add-on that we'll be releasing when it comes to I don't know. That's not really the done thing, but they own it. So, no.
Do you know what I'd be interested to see is if Bethesda would take on like a Rage 3, right? With the power of these new consoles and stuff, I think like the destructive environments and things like that are just like. It's a thing where like Rage 2 was a bit repetitive, but I still had a good time with it. I do think the series is not bad. It's a bit of fun, gameplay is tight. I just think a third one on Xbox and PlayStation I'd welcome it. I'd be up for the match.
I'd love to see a next gen Dishonored.
Wet 2 for me.
Dishonored 3. Wet 2.
Wet 2.
Shut up.
Wet was great.
Yeah, you don't want a second one, do you?
You don't want a second one.
No, I don't.
You say it for shock value.
I wonder. I mean, Arcane are fairly busy, but it's Arcane
Leon.
Well, no, but it's Arcane Leon that are doing Deathloop, right?
Yeah.
So the main Arcane studio are working on. Well, I mean, it's either Prey 2 or Dishonored 3, isn't it?
Wasn't there a Prey 2? You mean Prey 3?
Well, but it was called Prey, wasn't it? Because it was a reboot. It was the same.
Yeah.
So you're technically a third Prey, but that would be quite funny if they announced Prey and it was the third Prey called Prey and was again completely different. But then Prey and Dishonored were the very similar games. I would take either one. Prey's a very underrated game. Really enjoyed that.
Just to say as well, like we are we're far away from it, but I wonder will there be any kind of mention of Elder Scrolls?
So that's the question I was going to ask you guys. Go for a yay or nay, and then we can discuss. Adam Carroll.
Yes.
Will they show Elder Scrolls 6? 6?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
And will they show Starfield? And if yes, what will they show? How much of it? What kind of showing?
I think
What's your
Elder Scrolls
prediction?
will get like probably do you know what? I don't know, because I don't know where I read it, but they said like it's way off. It's like it's not coming anytime soon. They did say that.
Did they say that when they announced it? That's like, look, we are making it. Now forget, almost like, and away.
Yeah.
Forget about it. We have,
Yeah.
I'm sure they said something.
I think
like,
we'd have a
Starfield?
better chance not to with Starfield. I think like there'll be something about that.
There's too much scuttlebutt been said about that. That's going to be there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Just to quickly say now before you ask Chris, I do think as well, if there's anything regarding like Elder Scrolls and all that stuff, I think we'd get a Fallout thing over
I forgot
Elder
Fallout
Scrolls.
existed.
Yeah,
Fallout
I
5.
think Fallout might be something. They could just throw that up there. They could just throw that logo and go, and Fallout's the next thing that we are not going to get for another 5 years, but we're doing it.
Don't you think that Fallout 76 was their attempt to make...
Oh...
No, I trust me, I know. But don't you think that was their attempt, the way they did the Elder Scrolls Online was their attempt to make an online game they could get fees for, add-ons for, and not have to worry about making this ginormous single-player game again? And they've obviously realised, no, that's not going to work.
And it failed.
Yeah. It's 76
Well, that's the thing.
is a game I've been meaning to go back to because it doesn't look like it's in a better state.
About 6 months ago, and like it's better, but it's not Fallout 5.
Elder Scrolls Online's got a lot better. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to see what's next for that. No
matter what they bring out of Fallout, no matter what happens with Fallout, it could come out and we could see that reveal, and whatever they show could be like, whoa, that's amazing. But the internet is still just going to shit all over it.
Don't you think it needs to be something better?
Fallout trailer for the Amazon Prime TV show. Because that's coming in it. So I reckon we'll see a TV trailer.
There's a Fallout TV show?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I didn't know it existed.
It's Amazon Prime.
You got
the trailer came. It was like
I just want my Lord of the Rings show first.
Yeah,
I just want my Lord of the Rings show. Amazon Prime.
Well, mate, it'll be coming. They're working on that. They're working hard on that. Don't worry. There's different studios making TV
I'm waiting
shows.
hard, Chris. I'm waiting hard.
I know. Hopefully you find out something soon.
So for me, Fallout is now in the same category as Far Cry, in that I very much like and appreciate those games, but just releasing a new one with a new story and better graphics is not enough for me anymore. I need something else. And
you see though, like from 4 to 5 in Far Cry, I adored 5. Like I played
good time with 5 too.
70 odd hours. 5 was the
New Hope. No,
cool.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, no. Again, I'm with you, totally with you. But when we then played New Hope, which was like the Far Cry 5. It was just like,
same thing.
You've done this.
No, I completely agree.
I
think you're right.
I think
more. That it needs to be different now, especially in new gen. But I think we'll get no Elder Scrolls 6 whatsoever.
At all, not even a mention.
No. I think you'll get nothing to do with Fallout either. I think the trailer for Starfield will be like a cinematic, and then someone will come on and
show us
give a quick intro, like quick briefing of it, and then it won't be coming out for 3 years.
Well, I'm kind of I'm with both of you there, and I'm not sure about Elder Scrolls. I think I'm sure it was the game they were clearest about it. Like, we're making it.
Yeah, and we know they're making it, so don't get us excited for no reason. If it ain't coming,
I think one of the biggies from them will be Wolfenstein 3. Which
I'm a bit done with that after the last one.
Kind of not. I'll definitely play it.
Just remember Doom as well.
Yeah, but Doom again. They've tried to I don't know what they do with that next either, actually. But then I said that about the last time. So, fuck.
Can you imagine?
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Square Enix are kind of a known quantity. Like I suspect, they tend to. We can talk about Square by all means, but I think they tend to have their thing. But then they show a lot of their games on the Sony and on the Xbox stage as well. So we'll probably see Final Fantasy 16 on Sony stage again.
Oh, I hope to God.
I would imagine so. I mean,
yeah, I'm thinking that early next year. Like, I'm going for March and that.
There's rumours of a Guardians of the Galaxy game
from
Square, but they've still Avengers, even with the PS5 patch, they're still leaving it out to dry.
Yeah,
they're not paying it the attention it deserves, and it's their fault. And if they like,
it's amazing.
the I can't remember what it's called. The last update, the Future Imperfect one with Maestro and Hawkeye. Like they're supposed to be all these characters coming, but when are they going to come?
Yeah,
like Captain America's supposed to be there. The Black Panther stuff we know about.
We know about,
but what have we heard since that trailer?
Yeah,
like they've really messed it up.
That's absolutely it's bananas and pajamas to know that they have the Avengers game and they just.
It's incredible as well.
The Avengers game.
That's
Avengers
crazy.
Game.
Yeah,
like, in an era where
really messed it up now.
They could be making serious bucks with that if they did it right.
Yeah, they could. It could be amazing.
But, like Square Enix, I say, not glossing over them because big fan of a lot of their games, and Outriders, they've said that that's going to be a kind of thing going forward. So I would suspect we'll get something on how what that's going to develop with.
I like to see a deep dive on The World Ends With You, Neo, The
World Ends With You. Yeah, of course. Tooby.
That was published today, right? That preview.
Yes, it's gone up, mate. It's all right.
Right. Yeah. People need to play this fucking game.
Yeah.
Like read the preview, but oh my god, it's
I've tried not to a degree. If you know what I mean, I tried to read it as if
Did you play the previous one, Chris?
Yeah, a long
time ago.
I haven't played this. I kind of want to get the Switch version now, just to play it again.
What?
They re-released it on Switch, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah. It's called Final Remix. It's
yes. Sorry,
I watched gameplay of it after previewing this, but basically it's it's just a lot of fun, and I'd love to see more of that because that comes out in July, so there might be a bit of that.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what they're going to show.
I'd like a Just Cause 4, and then they can apologize for Just Cause 3.
Maybe some Tomb Raider. There'll be something to do with Tomb Raider because it's the 25th anniversary.
There is a rumor that they're going back to the kind of roots of that.
I don't think they'll show the new game because I think that's quite a way off. Because they mentioned in the videos at the start of the year how they're barely started on it, but it will be, like you say, going back to the roots a bit. But there'll be something Tomb Raider. I don't know what, but they can't. Not really.
No, they can't. Warner Bros. Well, I mean, it even says and Back 4 Blood. So Back 4 Blood, we'll see some of that. That's coming out this year, October-ish, I think.
Gotham Knight.
Yeah, Gotham. Oh, yeah, the Batman games, presumably. Yeah. I would imagine some more Lego Star Wars. That game feels like it's been forever.
Mental, isn't it?
Like, it's still not out, and I can't even remember if we've got a date for that. I think we have now, haven't we? Or have I imagined it?
No, I actually don't think we do.
Jesus. The what?
Is it October?
That's what I want to say. I think it was due July-ish.
It was originally.
It was last year at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It
doesn't make any sense.
Enough time has passed for me to play a Lego game again, if I'm honest.
I agree. That's Warner. We don't know what Sony are doing. They've been very quiet. Well, they haven't, but we'll get to that. But Nintendo, in fact, it is worth mentioning. This schedule overview I'm looking at comes from the E3 Expo, the ESA. It's directly from their PR. No mention of Sony. But it does mention everything else we've discussed, not the games, the publishers. The last day will include Nintendo's Direct. Now, there's a couple of things we need to address this. Is that one, by the time this podcast is up on the archived version, we might have had a Switch Pro announcement. Because that just won't go away right now. That is just... And it's also worth noticing that in the tweet where Nintendo said about this is what we're going to show, they said it's going to be 40 minutes, focused on Nintendo software, which perhaps... didn't need clearing up because
Labo 2.
Yeah, but the fact they did specifically spell out software makes you think, well, why would you do that? And because you've not acknowledged that the new Switch Pro exists. To me, that's almost acknowledging it exists. Because why would you say it otherwise?
Yeah.
And also, strangely, it says most of the games are going to be released this year. Most of, not all of. So
most games are going to be released. I don't know. That's.
But Nintendo's a weird one, man, because we know Mario Golf is out this month, right? And we know Pokemon Diamond, what's it called? Brilliant Diamond and something Sapphire. It's not called something Sapphire. I can't remember the Stunning Sapphire. I don't know. They're out in November. And as for Nintendo's schedule for the rest of that, so that's kind of good to hear. I've heard rumours of a new Mario Kart.
No, don't.
But they are very, very... I mean, it's the most specific rumour I've ever heard, and it's one of those that it looks a bit too much like a fan's wet dream, because if it was real, it's like, holy shit.
Oh, my God. I actually think I'd get sick if it actually happened.
I'm not even going to go into what the rumour says, because it's such an unsubstantiated
Adam
one.
Carter's going to get sick.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it was. But you wrote it. In fact, I'm not sure you realised this was in your diary, so I assume that you had an inside man. But no, I have read like a very detailed thing.
I've said it before. I know they're cleaning up still. With 8, but they will absolutely fucking dominate with another Mario Kart. Release the goddamn thing. I just want new tracks.
What I would say is they do like to release a new Mario Kart with the new hardware, don't they? I mean, wasn't Mario Kart 7 on DS like one of the launch games, and they never touched it again? And it still was one of the biggest selling games on the console, handheld console. Splatoon 3, which I forgot about until I was researching this. I would imagine that they'll probably show it, because they're also doing like was it 2 hour or 3 hour? I'm trying to quickly look. Nintendo Direct. It doesn't say on this thing, but there was like 2 hour, 3 hour Nintendo Treehouse afterwards. I would imagine they'll go heavy on Splatoon footage. Weren't we due a new Pikmin? Didn't they announce or like Pikmin 4? Didn't they? Have I imagined that? I'm sure, or was it just a long, Metroid Trilogy?
Where's that trilogy?
Where's that game? Where's Metroid 4?
I can sit
what
back
are Rare
and
doing?
I can sit back and forth for a bit. I'm okay. I'm like, 4 is not going to come this year. It'll probably come late next year. However, the trilogy is just put the goddamn thing out.
Man, I take that remake on 3DS. Samus Returns on Switch.
Yeah,
I take that.
Jesus, that was good.
That's what I keep being told, but I have not bought. Still haven't played it. I would take that on Switch.
If we don't get Breath of the Wild 2, man,
it'll be surely
a tragedy.
They must
have
they'll
really fuck up if they don't. I think.
I don't know what it is. Like, after the last time they came out with that announcement saying, "Look, this is where we're at with it," I don't think that's coming this year.
I don't think. I think you're right.
I do.
I don't think it is.
I think the new Switch, whatever they call it. By the way, just going to put this on record. If they don't call it the Super Nintendo Switch, they are mental. If they go for like the new Nintendo Switch Pro instead of the Super Nintendo Switch, where you've got that Super Nintendo, the SNES of SNES, if you don't use that, when it's like, it's literally there, take it, use this, it will sell trillions. They're mental. I think November for the Switch, the Super Nintendo Switch, and I think Breath of the Wild 2 then as well. And I'm looking in chat. Phil Tyndall says Breath of the Wild 2 will surely debut with the new Nintendo Switch. So I'm going to say it's either November with both or February with both.
Yeah, I think it'll be February or March.
Yeah, but if they can get it out in November, the way that Sony and Microsoft did, and although it will be limited, they will sell millions. They will now have that slot of, I can't get a GPU, I can't get my PS5. They will be like, I can't get a new Nintendo Switch, Super Switch. Yeah, like
I'm not up for the pre-order business again, if I'm honest. I'm not up for it.
I had a moment this week where I could have bought a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And I nearly did, just because they're that hard to get. I thought, I better get one, because if I don't have one, I know what happens if I need one. It's like, I have one. It's literally there. But I saw it, and do you know what? If it was a digital one, I'd have bought it because they're cheaper. But I literally saw it, and I was like, I should buy this. I should buy another PS5, because if this one breaks, I'm fucked. I mean, I'm not, because I could probably send this one back to Sony because it's the review one, but you know what I mean? Generally speaking, and I was that close to it, and it's like, I had it in my basket. It was there, and I looked at my phone, I was like, nah, come on now. Just stop this. Then I was like, and I'm with you, Ads, I'm like, I am not up for that.
I feel if I don't get the new Switch, especially if it's coming out the same day as the new Zelda, I'm fucking murdering someone.
Oh, you killed someone. You'll be in prison.
Yeah. It's done.
What do we think is a possibility? So do we know, or have I forgotten what Retro are doing? Are they involved with Metroid? Who did they say is making Metroid 4 now? Is it Retro? I can't remember. Like, do we think there's any chance of a new Donkey Kong game?
I'd like one.
We're getting a new WarioWare. We're getting a new WarioWare for certain.
Oh man, new Donkey Kong Country.
But the WarioWare thing's leaked. Kind of leaked out a bit.
Yeah, true.
Because like there's a survey
Retro
doing the rounds.
Studios, yeah.
There's a survey doing the rounds where it literally says, "Would you pay $49.99 for a WarioWare game?" And it describes what a WarioWare game is, and it's like, why would you ask that question? I'd definitely be up for a new WarioWare. I'd certainly be up for a new Donkey Kong.
I'd be up for a new Mario Party that actually was a party, and not that sluggish piece of poo.
Given that Mario Golf will be released shortly afterwards, do you reckon we could get a Mario Strikers?
Oh, yeah.
Because they've done tennis, they've done golf.
That'd be amazing.
I was watching. I forgot a Mario Strikers came out on the Wii, and I was watching footage of it, and it's like, oh yeah, that looks great. Imagine if they took that and then did what they do with their games now, like the creativity. Like there's some hands-off previews come out with Mario Golf, and like there's boss battles in it and stuff. I was like, oh god, I'm ready for that game. Like it's going to be Mario Tennis for Adam Carroll all over again. He's going to become a sports nut.
From the beginning as well.
Yes, before we start this time.
Match up, he'll be right in there.
Yeah.
Esports in a few months.
I am looking forward to that golf one. I gotta say, it's going to be good fun.
The question I guess I have is, given that nobody really expected a Splatoon 3, do you think there's any possibility of a Mario Maker 3?
Is there a need?
No, not really.
No.
Like, what more can they
they could make a 3D one.
Very true.
But
Jesus, that would be impressive.
What about
let you create a platformer like Odyssey?
Well, yeah, you're right. Now you've said that, it's never going to happen, is it?
No.
But they could do other like
they could do another update, like a big update.
No, they said that's it. They said last time they did one, it was like this is it. End of.
Right, fair enough.
But they could do Super Zelda Maker and do like a 2D Zelda making Dungeons for Zelda and stuff. Mind you, they kind of did that with what was it? The Switch remake. It had that sort of dungeon buildy stuff in it, didn't it?
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, it kind of had that. It wasn't quite the same, but
yeah.
I mean, there's a good point in chat, right? And this is one that's been bugging me for a little while now. Deadbeat Punk says, I'd love a Mario Bowling to fill the void Wii Sports left behind. It baffles me that they have not released Wii Sports for this console. It really does. Given how Wii Sports was like the thing. It's quite strange.
They just went with 1-2 Switch, didn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, why not just release Switch Sports?
Oh, it'd be brilliant. Yeah.
We shouldn't finish without mentioning Sony. I mean, we're not mentioning them for any particular reason, but they've been in the news recently because they've kind of announced that God of War... Well, there's a couple of things about this. One is that Herman Hulst, the head of PlayStation Studios, does not refer to it as God of War Ragnarok. He refers to it as the next God of War, which I think says everything that game is not called God of War Ragnarok. That's coming next year. Reasons being, it's fair. Like in performance capture, they just haven't been able to do it, and they said we'd rather delay it than. And I don't know that they're even delaying it. They never said it was coming this year. Did they?
No,
not officially.
No, they didn't.
I don't want Horizon and God of War in the same year.
No, and you know what? If I don't.
Yeah, you take it though.
Only hang on. Only if it was guaranteed they were the best they could be. Don't rush God of War at all.
No. Jesus Christ of Almighty.
They did it with Last of Us, and look how that turned out. They'd had to delay that quite a bit.
Yeah, and it was worth it. It was worth
it.
Absolutely. But they've also said that the language used in the comments, in the quotes by Hulst are. They certainly suggest that GT7 and God of War Next are coming to PS4 as well. I haven't got a problem with that because that PS4 has got the most insane user base. How do you guys feel about this?
Well, you saw the upgrade for God of War on PS5. I'm fine with it. I know they want you fully PS5 like your Demon Souls or your Ratchets or they're the only two that are kind of within the same. Yeah, but God of War on PS5 looks incredible. So I don't care. And GT7 I'm not that asked about anyway. So
I mean, what they showed of it looks amazing already. So it's not like racing games are bad on last gen. You're not alone there. You're not alone there. But
no, Ragnarok or whatever, definitely.
Whatever, yeah. Are you bothered by the fact it's coming out on both? Maybe they haven't. No.
I think it's only fair, really, given the circumstances with the stock levels and stuff of the console. So there's still a lot of people who just have PS4s, and the PS4 is still a great console.
We are in June. People are still struggling to get PS5s.
Same with Horizon. Yeah. Like if they said PS4 as well, like it looked incredible, the original on PS4.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a big deal if it came out on PS4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really. Yeah, I can't disagree, and I can't really play devil's advocate because I wouldn't believe it if I was saying it. So, I think we've kind of covered off our predictions and hopes, I guess, for E3. But we did like to get some from our Patreon, and so McPoo, his prediction is is kind of serious and kind of joking. Breath of the Wild 2 re-reveal on the new Nintendo Switch Pro 3D. So he's kind of, I think, with me on that one. And his dream would be Overwatch 2 getting a release date for the first half of next year. How do you feel about those?
That's quite a sensible shout. Because they've shown quite a bit. It doesn't seem that far off, so it will make sense to announce it for
the only thing I'd say is that Blizzard do their own thing with BlizzCon, so they won't announce. I don't think
not E3, no.
But I get the sentiment. Deadbeat Punk says, I don't think he took this seriously at all, because his prediction is that Keanu gets dragged back out to apologise for Cyberpunk. Turns out he didn't tie his laces and fell through the server holding all the game data, meaning an early demo version got released instead of the full game. Something tells me he didn't take that seriously. But his dream is that Bethesda, Obsidian, and In Exile partner up to create the greatest post-apocalyptic RPG that there ever was to be. And that is definitely possible because Microsoft owns the lot of them. So...
yeah.
So
post-apocalyptic, you've already got Fallout, haven't you?
And Wasteland.
Yeah.
And the other games that I can't remember the names of.
If they went back to the roots and made a Fallout like Wasteland, I'd be well over that.
Do you reckon people would be angry at that or happy?
Angry, because games people...
No, it's a stupid question, to be fair, sorry. Politica says, prediction, Starfield to announced launch this year. What would you give that out of 10 in terms of chances? 10 being definitely right, 1 and 0 being there's no chance in hell.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
I'll go 0. Sorry, Nick. His dream. This is one I can get behind. Is Game Pass coming to Switch?
Oh my God, that would be so good.
Yeah,
because the games are so expensive.
Indeed.
Like even 1-2 Switch is still 40 quid still.
It wasn't worth that when it came out. It wasn't worth that when it came out.
That would be brilliant.
So Dane's prediction is we finally get to see a game from Retro Studios. So I guess,
yeah,
they have to show Metroid, don't they?
But
I mean, they don't have to. They clearly don't do anything they don't want to.
An update on 4, as I said, but announcing the release of the trilogy for this year.
But how are they at the last? Oh, mind you, it was the Legend of Zelda Direct, wasn't it? I was going to say, how are they giving us an update of saying we've got nothing to show you on Breath of the Wild 2, while Metroid Prime is sort of like, but I guess it was a Zelda. It was a Zelda Direct, wasn't it? But they have to, right?
Yeah,
they have to do something with Metroid.
We haven't even mentioned this game. Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, God. Thomas actually mentioned that in the comments there.
We haven't even mentioned it. Because I think we're all like, it's whatever, isn't it? His dream, by the way, Danes, is Square Enix reboot the Chrono series or just a fucking European release of Chrono Cross, any platform, just let us have it. So I can't really have much of that. It's not my series. David Ayer's prediction is the Switch Pro at E3, a few jokes about Cyberpunk, and Batista to come out on stage and be in a game. They all seem plausible to me. His dream...
Batista is just the best.
He seems to be about at the moment.
In Army of the Dead, have you seen that ad?
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have.
It's quite good.
I really
want. Yeah, it is what it is. He should be Marcus Phoenix.
He absolutely should.
He should be.
So good.
He can't be now. He's been in the game, can he? They can't.
Only film he could make that film. My God, he'd. Oh.
By the way, David's dream, Bully 2, and I'm going to give that also a 0 chance.
Yeah.
Jesus.
G-Town Steve, and I'm going to give this a 0 as well. His prediction, so he thinks will happen, is a Bayonetta 3 shadow drop straight after the Direct. Nil point for me, not a chance in.
No.
Yeah.
His dream, the new Nintendo Switch released in August with Breath of the Wild 2 available at launch. Hardware part exchange promotion, meaning the upgrade is only £100.
Look, I'll eat my socks if it happens, but everyone is very confident about Breath of the Wild 2 coming with that console. Like, people are very confident with it. Like, that game does not need to be put with the console. For sales purposes, it won't make any difference.
Maybe we can make it become a reality just to annoy you.
I think that Switch is going to come out on its own. I think it's going to here. There you go.
Oh, I don't think you're going to be forced at gunpoint to buy a copy of Breath of the Wild 2 with a Switch.
Oh, you will.
Switch. Oh, okay. Thomas K in the chat says, I want to see proof that Vampires Bloodlines 2 isn't in shambles. Well, I think it is. They had problems with... A lot of problems, in fact. They lost the... Did Chris only come off that project? He came off Dying Light 2, didn't he? Because there was allegations surrounding him that he came off that. I think he came off that as well. And I think the dev is... Yeah, that game... He also says Wolf Among Us 2. Forgot that was a thing. Loved that first game.
Damn, that first one was so good.
Yep. Phil Tyndall says, with the shortages of PS5 and Series X consoles expected to continue into next year, I think there's a higher chance the big titles of 21 will invariably slip to Q1 or Q2 22. Also probably a good point.
Terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Fallout 76 has done a lot of damage to the franchise, he says. Thomas K says, Wolfenstein 3, the new subtitle I won't be able to remember. Yeah. Deadbeat Punk, it's great that Sony are supporting cross-gen. It's just Jim Ryan's lines of believing in generations that cause people to point it out. That's fair. Different leadership, and that, things change. I mean, not being funny, if people are going to have a go for that, then they need to start bringing up old... we've got a console for that. It's called the Xbox One, or whatever it was. I forget what it was. The Xbox 360 one, what was his name?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Phil Tinder, wow, this is a good shout. I'm praying for an F-Zero reboot. He says the GameCube version was amazing and made by Namco. They need to get back on it. Forgot about F-Zero. Totally forgot about F-Zero. But I'm afraid you can't have that, Phil, because Adam wants Mario Kart. So I don't make the rules.
I just have a couple of things here that I'm just hoping for, right? Yeah. That I think should be put out there. I'm just going to show there. Elden Ring
definitely will be shown on Xbox stage, I believe.
Elden Ring has to be shown. Dragon Age 4.
Nah.
Well, EA plays not till July, but I would presume. Well, I don't know.
Just something. Silent Hill.
Just something. Yeah, no.
Silent Hill. These are just things that I'm kind of going.
I know, mate.
Thrown out there. Bloodborne remaster.
Nah.
It's not necessarily, and it's kind of one of those things I just feel people are kind of crying out for. Weirdly, but I don't know. Like,
I'm with you in spirit. That's it.
Hang on though. Uncharted 5.
Oh.
Okay. Hold tight here now a second, right? I'm not expecting fucking stuff to be shown. I just want the logo, the music, and I think it should take the protagonist of Cassie and roll with that. She is our next hero, and it follows on 4 in some way, shape, or form.
Uncharted 5 set in
Uncharted
space.
5.
Set in space.
I think the next game from Naughty Dog will be a couple of years away, but it'll be a brand new IP.
I agree.
I think they've like Uncharted, Last of Us, phenomenal, but seeing them do a different IP, like even like I know you're joking about Uncharted being in space, but like just something like
no, I wasn't joking.
But like something in space sci-fi or they could do so much, and so I think if anything it'll be a new IP from them.
I'd
also like to see like an expansion on Last of Us like they did with Left Behind.
No, I don't think they can bring out the Last of Us stuff anymore because people are going to start crying. So I just can't be dealing with it.
Fuck them right over the backside.
Yeah. One thing I will say, one last thing I want to put out there is, especially after watching the show, it needs to happen. Someone needs to pick back up Castlevania. I think Castlevania deserves some sort of comeback, whether it's
they're making a Bloodstained sequel, aren't they?
Yeah. But like Castlevania,
I know.
Bring it back.
I know.
Remaster
Lords of Shadow.
In my head it is.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
Thomas
Just
K
needs-
says Silent Hill.
Sorry, Warner. I know we're
Yeah.
sorry, we're miles behind, well, after that now, but
Yeah, that's
Hogwarts.
Yeah, I'm not.
yeah.
I don't know. They might keep quiet on that until they are near a release for me, but I don't know.
I'm up for being a wizard anyway. I tell you that much.
You're a wizard, Harry.
No,
That's the line, isn't it?
that's
That's
it.
a well-known line. Thomas K says, "Oh yeah, Silent Hill 1 to 4 playable on modern systems and not running or looking like ass. That would also be quite nice, wouldn't it?" What
I
about
love Silent
Kojima?
Hill to do what Resident Evil did and
Go
just
first person.
remake them all.
What about I don't know, man. I don't know.
Sleeping Dogs 2.
Oh, don't. That's a dream.
Wouldn't that be great? Like there's certain
It would
games like
be
that.
because that's
Spec
the
Ops
most
The Line
underrated
2.
game that's
I don't
ever
know.
existed.
Yeah,
It's always like $3.99 on the store,
It's
and
so
no one
cheap.
buys it.
It's a good game.
Incredible, and that's Square Enix, isn't it?
Chris, we should just start buying it for everyone.
I
Good
would.
game.
Actually, I'd want to do
If
that.
someone
game.
wants
I
it,
regret that.
let me know, and when it's in the sale, I'll buy it. You.
I remember playing a preview build of that, when no one gave a shit about it, and no one really knew what to expect from it, and I was playing it, and I was going, "This is amazing."
Yeah, man.
I
it's
played
so
it through
good.
like 3 times, I think.
And it was just like one of those where it felt like almost felt like a dirty secret. Like,
Yeah.
do people know? Oh no, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the person that tells people because I've literally got a debug disc of it here and I'm playing it. I forgot. And it's like, yeah, people need to know about this. Like this, that was.
I also say, bring back The Getaway. Whether you remaster the first one, I don't care.
Oh mate,
Bring
if
it
you're
back.
doing that, let's go Midnight Club. Let's go the whole.
Let's keep going. You're on nice.
Bully 2
I'd love
and 3.
another Getaway.
Bully 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because they released that VR game, but it wasn't.
Which one? Blood and Truth?
Blood and Truth. Like it was good,
Yeah.
but obviously you can't free roam around London and whatnot. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Phil Tyndall says, wasn't there reports of an Indiana Jones game? Yeah, that's Bethesda. Bethesda are making that. They sort of showed well, it was nothing really. It was an announcement trailer, and couldn't tell you if it's first person or whatever. Although they don't tend to make third person games, do they? Now I think about it. Really? Well, I mean, some of them are. David Ayres says, give me a true crime game. No, I just mean like with Fallout,
I know what
you
you
can go
mean.
into third person.
Yeah, they are.
You shouldn't, is what I'm saying. If you do, you're a bad person. That's just... I don't make the rules.
I want another Mirror's Edge.
You want another Mirror's Edge,
Mirror's
do
Edge
you?
Catalyst is probably one of my favourite games on the
Fine.
PS4.
If we're getting silly, then I want Army of 2 4.
That's
okay?
not silly. What? That's not silly.
Do you remember Army of 2, though?
Army of 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dead
gee.
Space
What was the
reboot.
second one? The 40th?
Dead
Kane and Lynch.
Space reboot. Dead Space. And Kane and Lynch 4. 3? I don't know.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting silly now. Sleeping
Dog
Dogs
Days
2.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Wet 2. It's all you need.
What is with the wet game?
What was
Like,
that Ang Lee
Elijah
game?
Dushku, mate. That's what's
With John...
Wet.
No, John Woo, sorry. What was that game that he did on Xbox?
Stranglehold.
Stranglehold 2.
No, I
Yeah.
think it was a remake in the first place, wasn't it?
Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Possibly.
Come on.
Adam Cook, just for you, Death Stranding 2, 3, 4, and 5 out this year.
All with the same story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As the
from a
first
different
game.
point of view. From the
Look.
point of view of the baby.
I'm going to end this madness now. I'm going to end this madness now and say Super Punch Out Switch. Finish.
Oh,
Super. Yeah, that would be
oh
actually
my
pretty
God,
good.
That would be amazing.
Thank you. And what is also amazing is if you,
Ooh, I like
subscribe to this YouTube channel or this podcast, or if you're on Spotify, however you listen, just, I don't know, can you do stuff like that on Spotify? You can put the heart thing. Makes me feel good knowing you're doing it. That's good stuff, isn't it? But you can also go to patreon.com. Patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, where you will find, I don't know why I said God is a Geek like that, but I did, and we're there now. But you can find our private Discord, code giveaways, early access, an extra podcast, all sorts of stuff. So do go there because it sustains us. That's all there is to it. Thank you to everybody in the live chat. There's been some cracking comments there. Thomas K says Uncharted 5, but there's nothing left that's historical for Drake to blow up.
Oh, there is.
Oh yeah. Like Uncharted 5, he goes down to the Titanic. It has a tie-in with the movies. Natural
He
history.
meets Kate Winslet.
Yep.
And he paints her.
Fully clothed.
And in the sex scene, and it's Nate's hand up against the...
Fully clothed. Fully clothed. Oh, and that's also a really good point. Deadbeat Punk says that Patreons also all have 10-inch penises. So that's worth making sure that people are aware.
Just got Sully's image.
Ah, Nate.
Nate, pay me like those French girls.
Jesus Christ.
Who's playing Sully in the films?
King of the world.
Who's playing Sully in the
Mark
films?
Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's not
That
a lot
looks
about
good.
that.
Really?
The casting for that doesn't fill me.
Tom
with...
Holland's amazing.
I know Tom Holland is dodgy.
Oh, I think it'll be good. Come on, Nate. No, I'm up for it. Anyway.
Sorry, mate, I'm busy. I'm Spider-Man,
That's
Nate. Sorry, Sully, I'm Spider-Man. I don't know. Thank you very much for being here for this podcast. If you're watching it or listening to it later after the fact, we appreciate you as well. Thank you very much. Everyone else, we will speak to you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye for now. Bye.